When's the last time you went to a GameStop? I think mine was like 2-3 years ago to pick up Madden. I actually went to GameStop because I traded in my old games, to get it. That's the only reason I
So
ever
you got
went
like
there.
$3 off of the copy.
Well, I had about like 10 games, so I ended up getting like $30 off or something like that. But now I literally, because I've done that so many times, I have Madden 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, Kingdom Hearts, and what the fuck other, I can't remember the
fucking
game.
did it.
Hey, look at you. Hey, forget everything I said about you being a never was or a once upon a time, maybe.
I'm now an
there.
almost.
Yeah. You are an Edward James almost right now. I like that. Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, by the way, back on keto.
Hey, all right. Good for you, buddy.
Back on the wagon.
Good for you. So back to eating a bunch of fumunder cheese and cock, huh?
So you know what I had yesterday, last night for dinner? We had a fucking
Lay it on me, baby.
large shrimp on the griddle. Right?
Big shrimp.
Sauteed in garlic and butter and scampi.
Dare you say jumbo shrimp?
They were jumbos. No, they were jumbos. They were huge.
Okay. Give me some more
and
food.
Then,
come on, baby.
And then we griddled up some
Hold on. Can you whisper a little bit into the mic when you tell me this?
Yeah, after we cooked the large shrimp, we griddled up some steak.
Ooh, yeah.
So what kind of steak was it? What's the steak you make cheesesteak out of?
Oh shit, dude.
Ribeye.
Ribeye, okay.
Yeah,
ribeye.
So we cooked up some ribeye, and then we had some zucchini and onions done up on the griddle, and then there's one more item. Oh, some smashed potatoes, which I only had like a little bit of those, but so they're just like
it's not very keto, Bob.
The baby yellow potatoes,
Mm.
right? But you boil them and get them pretty soft, and you cool them down, and then you put them on the grill and you smash them, and then they spread out and smash, but then you crisp them on both sides, kind of like you would hash browns, but then you put them in garlic and butter and all that.
Sounds fucking lovely.
It was pretty amazing. I took pictures if you want some food porn. I've got you.
Send me over.
This morning I got up and I cooked a whole pound of bacon on the griddle.
Oh God.
And then 8 scrambled eggs, green chili with onions.
You are a deviant, my friend. You're a deviant.
And then well, what else did I cook with that? I made a homemade hash browns. I got the cheese grater out. I made some badass hash browns, with a little bit of Louisiana spice, the Lowry's seasoned salt.
God damn. You are a dirty, slutty food whore. And I like that.
Jess made a burrito out of it. I chose not to since I ate one of the hash browns. Carb-wise, that was too much. Then I had a glass of oat milk, and that probably took me a little too far.
Oat milk or goat milk?
Oat milk. OAT.
What the fuck is that?
It's oat milk.
All right. So they're squeezing milk out of almonds now. That's a known fact. And now they're doing it with oats?
Yes.
Is this? Wow. Jesus.
And rice.
The time we are living in, huh? What a time to be alive. Am I right?
Hold on. Let me fix my camera. It's going in.
Oh, Jesus. There you are. You just got a lot closer to me. Wow. That's intense.
I can fix that.
What? Oh, that was holy shit. Creepy ass Bob. Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, having fun. Okay.
I think we can do a show now.
Yeah. Are you okay? I thought there was a part 2 to that. I thought you were gonna spit it somewhere. I was like, oh,
I went to spit it, but there was no trash can, just this box, and I was like, well, that's kind of gross.
Oh,
I should have just spit a big ass loogie in a random box. I'll just salt that fucker up and swallow it.
Good times, Bob. Well, I'll tell you what. Welcome to the Stiff Truth, everybody. A really fun show today, and it's a very special Saturday edition of the Stiff Truth. I'm Scott Casanova, like you guys know. My buddy over here, who's acting a little bit strange, Mr. Bob West. How the hell you doing, Bobby?
I just want you to know that one man's strange is another man's normal. It's all about perspective.
Love that about you, Bob. Always with good perspective. How we doing?
I'm doing really good. Doing really good. Feel great. You know, school's kicking my ass, but there's only a couple of months left, and then I get a piece of paper for the last 3 years. So that's cool.
Fuck yeah. Love paper. Love getting a piece of paper. Well, good shit, man. Um, hey, wanted to tell you once more here. Here we go. Starting off the show with a 9% beer. Pray for me.
That's a hearty beer. I mean, if you're in you are in Colorado, but if you'd have bought that at like a Smith's, that'd have been 2 beers.
Yeah. It's a pretty good one. It's the old, what is it? Belgian brewery, New Belgian brewery, like Fat Tire and stuff. Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA.
Okay, I've had a Voodoo.
Yeah, 9 whoppers of the percentage there. So we're going to kick off the show right, my friend. But hey, first of all, I think we owe it to everybody. We owe it to all the stiffies to follow up, maybe close the loop, so to speak, on the GameStop bonanza here, Bob. In case people were actually living their life and working and doing other things besides, being obsessed with the stocks in the stock market last week, can you update on everybody what happened?
Yeah, the stock has gone down pretty significantly.
Sorry, you say it so calmly too. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah, it went from like, it went from like 300 or something down to, basically $120 or something. Now it's down to 60, and it went back up to almost 70. So now it's sitting at just under 70. So it'll be interesting at this point. So, I'm still holding a couple of shares. I got rid of my GameStop, put it into something that was less volatile, right? Had a better trajectory, and then I got in on the dip and got 2 more GameStops, but at a much cheaper rate that I'm willing to light that money on fire and just go down with the ship. So at this point, if the stock goes down to like $2, I'm going to get paper copies of my GameStop. That's like $500, by the way, to get one of these, and then frame it on the wall just so that I own that GameStop to the bitter end. It'll just be there. So,
yeah.
But I don't know. There's lots of misinformation and rumor campaigns going on. It's pretty crazy when you're dealing with this much money. So an interesting thing happened on, I think it was Thursday.
I want to say Wednesday or Thursday is when it really started going down, right?
Well, exchanges worldwide stopped selling GameStop and AMC worldwide.
Yeah. This is not just Robinhood, right? Yeah, this is like worldwide. Nobody could purchase GameStop anymore.
So definitely some billions of dollars of power going into play here. So it's tough to say. I mean, when you look, a lot of people are buying. There's not a lot selling. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot going on saying the squeeze has been squoze, and that's with the $400 price tag. But there's many that say that the $400 price tag was not the squeeze, and that it's still overly shorted. So the truth will come out in 3 days. So on February 9th, the New York Stock Exchange will actually release the official report of shortages. So up until those official reports, it's all just algorithms and these softwares that guess at the shorts.
It's basically this whole the whole idea why this was started then is because it was over 100% shorted, right? Like 120% shorted. And what you're telling me now is like this was all based off of speculation, or are these algorithms?
No, so a report came out in January because they do twice a month. They report out, and this report had GameStop listed at 120 something percent. I think it was like 129% of stocks shorted. Well, obviously you can only have 100% of something, right? When you get over 100%, we're dealing with theoreticals, or we're dealing with something so that's what happened. Is there's stocks out there that don't exist that have been sold, right? So that's what the short is. So then if everyone buys the stocks, when they go to buy the stock back at a price, they're simply not there to sell. So that's why there's all this like craziness about have the shorts covered, have the shorts not covered? Because if they're still out there and they haven't been able to physically buy the stock because there's just too many people holding that they can't get under that 100% to buy it up, then they're just fucked, and they're just paying interest right now because they illegally sold stock to somebody that they didn't have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't do that. So the fact that that's listed like that is pretty alarming, and then that's why Congress is getting involved and taking a look at this and seeing what's really going on. But the other side of that is the little guy against the big money, and it's really hard for the big money to win. But again, I've got two stocks, anymore. It doesn't affect the rest of my portfolio, so whatever. I'm going to hold them to the bitter end and see what happens and move on with the rest of my portfolio like it's not even there. So,
So I guess you could say that this last week, the hedge fund boys put down, they played their hand, and it was a pretty good hand. They did put together a decent amount of billions to send the stock back down to something reasonable, because it was up to like $420 at one point. I know that it didn't. I don't think it ended like at, the day at that amount. I think it drifted back down to 300 and something. Well, that's interesting, Bob. Well, kudos to you going down with the ship, my friend.
oh yeah, I'm like the quartet of the Titanic. It's been a pleasure playing with you gentlemen tonight.
I love that though, because you got to keep the atmosphere and the ambiance and the party going as people are dying. I think that's admirable, and I love that about you, my friend. Yeah, it's interesting, man, because I don't know about you, but it looks like AMC is still a pretty good investment, regardless of all this.
Oh, I'm actually holding a significant size of AMC. I like AMC anyway because with all of this buzz, AMC actually got to get a lot of capital together.
Yeah,
and
paid off a lot of debt.
Yeah, buy their debt. They're 100% solvent, over 100%, because now they're in the black, and they're in the black in the pandemic when theaters aren't even open.
Yeah.
And they're sitting here still being able to afford all the utilities and bills and rent and everything to keep those theaters up. And they're still in the black. So that's promising for the future. Because I'll tell you this, the moment the theaters are open, we're going to be going to the movies at least like once a month, if not twice a month, and just like make it a thing.
And sure, those stocks for the theaters are not going to like go turn into a crazy Tesla style growth stock, but they're definitely going to bounce back, and we're going to be okay. And I think AMC, this is like the silver lining of this whole story, if you ask me, between the common man fighting the billionaires or whatnot. We saved a movie theater. I'll say that. I had a part in it. You have a part in it,
Yeah, like
good for us.
GameStop, there's a chance that they restructure their business model and they change. There's talk of them getting into online gaming. And
well, wasn't that the main pull, like the draw from bringing in the CEO or whatever of Chewy, right? Because he basically took e-commerce pet supply, whatever, to new heights too. So I guess the plan is for him to kind of do the same thing and transition them away from more of the brick and mortar to an online presence, right? So
yeah, like the brick and mortar is going to be a place for you to go physically build your PC.
Yeah,
right? That's what it is. And he's moving more towards PC gaming and that whole environment, which is fine because that actually PC gamers are gaining a lot of momentum.
You know what kind of sucks, man, is like I didn't even think about GameStop being an obsolete business, right? With their business model being brick and mortar, but they're essentially just like now old record shops. You know what I mean? Like the CD shops and shit like that. Sam Goody, and all those places that went under in, I want to say the late 2000s, like 2008, 2009. So like a lot of those started closing their doors too. So yes. GameStop is joining them, man. So
absolutely. And then we gotta pour one out for Sam Goody, because that was awesome.
I used to love hanging out there, bro. There was nothing like just going through there and perusing through all the CDs and the DVDs and the music posters in the back. Never buying anything, really, just being those annoying guys that the workers would stare at. But I won't be pouring out anything because, as you know, this is a dank beer, so I'm keeping it all for myself.
Yeah, it was a fake pour. My lid's on. It's all movie magic.
You rascal, you.
I know. So I don't know, the whole GameStop thing. I don't really see it as a long-term stock, at least not at the current value. I mean, if you want to wait until all this hoopla is over with and you get in back at like $5 or $10 a share, whatever, you want to go buy 1,000 shares at that point, maybe that's the play here. But you got to minimize that risk and get in at a really low floor instead of trying to jump in when it's $100 and it's already overinflated, because GameStop as it stands, as its business model from like 10 years ago, it's a dying industry. But that's the whole thing, is that, like you said, the CEO is coming in to change the business model and make it not a dying industry. And they just got injected with a bunch of cash too. So there's an opportunity for them to do that. Personally, I'm invested elsewhere with the Biden presidency. I've got a lot going in the energy sector, batteries, things like that.
Renewable energy, solar
energy. I'm going green with a lot of my stocks because I think
battery cells, electric cars. Huh? Yeah.
There's a lot that are low right now, and it's a good time to get in. And there's most likely going to be legislation passed over the next couple of years that's only going to enhance the market for that. So that's my guess. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just kind of giving you guys insight on my portfolio.
And I don't want to turn this into an investing podcast, but do you have, was it fuel cell energy? It's a pretty reasonable. I think it's like $25 right now. Like per share.
I don't at the moment, but I'm about to make a heavy plan to fuel cell.
Good for you. Good for you.
I like it. It's been good. I've actually made quite a bit off of fuel cell over the last, several months. So it was $6, dude, when I first got into fuel cell.
There you go. It's also probably smart here as an American. I maybe feel bad for saying this, but to start investing in businesses in China too. There's a lot of decent businesses coming out of China, and we're just going to be dealing with them more now that old Trumpy's not here. So there's that too. But anyways, all that's kind of a shit show. Another pretty fun shit show to look at, Bob. Our good friend, great friend of the show, actually, Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? You remember when you used to date her? No? You don't want to tell anybody about that?
No.
Oh my God. Well, in case I'm sure everybody's heard about this, but Bob, I guess a little bit of background about the lady. She's a Georgia native. Yeah. She's a favorite of Donald Trump. That's probably your first red flag there. Not false flag. You didn't hear me. You heard me right. But red flag there. And I'm actually super, super surprised with what I've learned about this lady, that she won her election pretty much like landslide, didn't we?
Unopposed.
74% to 25%. My question is this: how much of a piece of shit is this guy that lost to her, this Kevin Van Osdale guy? Woof.
Oh, did she have someone run against her? I thought she was unopposed. Maybe that's the other one, the Bobert, that I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm looking right here. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Republican versus Democrat, and 2020, Georgia's 14th congressional district. 229,000 and some change for her, 77,000 for the other guy. Wow. I'm not going to say anything, but yes, I am going to say something. This kind of tells you a little bit about Georgia, I think. So, but I don't know, Bob. Let's just fast forward here to the really exciting stuff here. Why don't you enlighten everybody on her recent outburst and what's been happening with her within the GOP, within the GOP.
So it's exhausting. She's exhausting.
You're already tired, Bob. You already sweating?
It's just, it's astounding that someone with that little formal education and knowledge about life in general can reach the United States House of Representatives. It's astounding. I mean, I've mentioned it to you in private. Even when she speaks, her eyes look lost, like she can't even focus on the intelligence behind the thought that she's presenting. It's just a very empty thing. They're not quite like dead or soulless eyes, but they're definitely like lost eyes, I think.
So
when she speaks,
let's break that down a little bit here so the stiffies can get a better picture. Like you've seen probably movies, or maybe you've even seen in real life, where people get those nice little taps in the eyes with ice picks by a doctor. One of those good old lobotomies, kind of like that. Like that dead look stare afterwards.
Well, just like she's been coached to say certain things or talking points, and she doesn't understand why. So she just says these things hoping for approval, right? She does like when an adolescent or a young teenager talks about a topic because he briefly heard his parents talking about it, and then he's got around his friends talking about it. He doesn't really know what the fuck he's talking about. He's just trying to regurgitate shit and hoping that he gets agreement from someone smarter.
So you're kind of saying then that Marjorie Taylor Greene is kind of like all the time, she's like Ron Burgundy reading up a teleprompter.
Yes. And I think that she's in a perpetual state of like a New Mexico 12-year-old. Which
Well,
I emphasize New Mexico
yeah, yeah. Well,
because there's some 12-year-olds across the parts of the country that are like really with it.
yeah. There's like kids, there's 12-year-olds that are doing like that junior like master chef or whatever and winning and doing all
That's
kinds.
right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
there's some dialed in 12-year-olds, and then there's the standard 12-year-old from beautiful Lanham Chapman.
So
Yeah, I
there's
hear you.
my personal attack has to do with her seemingly uninsightful rhetoric, right? So not to like put her down,
Too much.
too much. And it's not as a person, it's as a House representative. I have high standards for Congress. Like, you should know what the fuck is up if you have thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of people counting on you.
You bring up a great point, Bob. This is not something where we can sit here. I can't either wholeheartedly and be like, you know what, this person is subhuman. No, this is basically run of the mill.
She's just a regular person.
Yeah, a run of the mill Trump supporter that believes in some outlandish conspiracy theories. They're okay. That people are allowed to do that, whether I think it's stupid, retarded, whatever kind of word I want to use to explain that, they're still there. But you're absolutely right. For somebody of this nature and with this kind of pedigree, we'll say, to say it nicely, but it is very, very mind blowing to me that this person can literally get to the highest level of governance in our country, being a body of Congress. That is hardcore, man. It kind of scares me that somebody like this can be voted in, and she hasn't been hiding her stance on any of this.
No.
She's been right out there in the open about it.
Not until 2 days ago.
Well,
so all right. So let's get into some of the things of what she believes. So for those that don't know, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a Q believer. For years, she's actually gotten a following and a sense of notoriety from spouting her, tirades on social media about some of the Q conspiracies going on. Again, though, taking points that someone has given her and then going and regurgitating them and hoping for people's approval.
And Bob, I don't want to not give the stiffies a lot of credit here, but just so if anybody doesn't know, sum it up real quick. QAnon is a disproven and discredited far-right conspiracy alleging that a secret sect of Satan cannibalist. Of course, Democrats are controlling the world, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a registered Democrat, and I just had a baby just before the show.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when people think of you, right, they always think Satan worshiping, cannibalistic, pedophile,
drinking baby's blood to gain everlasting life. Yes, that's me. That's what my friends always say. There goes Bob drinking baby's blood, everlasting life.
You always know it's a good conspiracy theory when it starts out on Wikipedia saying that it's a disproven and discredited theory.
So she believes this, and QAnon, I swear, was started as a joke, but I have no proof of that. But so she's spouting a lot of these theories, right, over the last few years. And this goes back, to 2016, 2017, 2018. And this is all stuff she's been posting pretty much on Facebook. That's her chosen platform, right? So
it's a good platform.
She's saying things, about, Pizzagate. And I think we briefly hit on Pizzagate before, but, the child pedophile child selling ring out of pizza shops, right? That's obviously been disproven. The FBI did look into it. But
just like, we'll take a peek at that.
Right. While I'm here, extra pep, okay? Okay.
Yeah, he's like, everything seems good in there. I'm gonna go check out the donut shop now.
So she's been boasting about a lot of these weird conspiracy theories, and they're the same ones. Obviously Donald Trump's election was stolen. Of course, that was stolen. So she loves that conspiracy. But her election was legit, though. There was no fraud in her election. That's legit.
She won with a landslide victory. You know what I mean?
Right.
So why even question something like that, especially with good old Southern Georgians?
Right. Her district was the only one that was legit.
The other one too, which I'm sure, especially people that were victims of this, might have a difference of opinion, but that the school shootings, most notably Parkland, Sandy Hook, and the Las Vegas shooting, those were all staged. Which again, that to me has a little bit more weight as something people could have a theory, a hypothesis that differs from the truth, because I mean, how are you really going to disprove that it wasn't staged? I mean, okay, that's all right. But my friend, the laser beam, that one takes the cake. I'll let you get into that, Bob. Explain to everybody what that means.
A couple of years ago, there was a bunch of wildfires in California. We all know this last season and the last summer was, horrific, right? Record breaking. But the record breaking one before that was 2019, and then before that was 2018, right? So they've had like 3 years of record breaking fires, disasters, one after the other. Well, in 2018, there was huge fires. People were dying, people losing their homes. Very sad, and it's
That's
Marjorie
scorched
Taylor Greene's,
yeah.
contention that these fires were this huge plot that involved the Rothschilds, Dianne Feinstein's husband, and the then governor of California, Jerry Brown.
Oh my God.
So she believes that the Jews,
you heard it right,
sent satellites up, and they have these powerful laser beams, and they actually targeted areas that were in the way of progress, of profitability for these millionaires and billionaires in California to create a high-speed rail system.
So this makes sense.
Yes, of course. That's the obvious reason. It's not that like someone threw a cigarette or there's a lightning strike. Obviously, Jews sent lasers and satellites and targeted facilities that were in the way of this high-speed railroad.
Well, one thing I've always said, and you know this about me, is nothing beats the power of a Jewish laser. That is for damn sure. So I understand why they chose to use that to get everything out of the way for their rail system. And it's easy to, again, draw this conclusion, Bob, because everybody involved is a dirty Jew, right? So there's that. So I don't want to hear your shit. I think
Democrats.
Oh, of course. There has to be a trifecta effect too. So they're Jews, they're Democrats. Are they all rich too?
Yes.
That's it. That's it. Filthy rich Jewish Democrats. I knew it. Well, that's tough stuff, man, right there. Yeah, so that to me is the funniest thing. And honestly, Bob, I got to tell you, when I had zero context when I heard this on the news earlier in the week.
It must have really been out of left field, right?
And it made me chuckle. Hey, I like to make Jewish jokes and other off-color jokes just as much as the next guy, but I wasn't even paying attention to the news. And I just hear like Marjorie Taylor Greene, blah, blah, Jewish lasers are responsible for the California wildfires. And I just started, what the fuck is a Jewish laser? Is that... I didn't even know it was like Jewish owned lasers. I thought the actual laser had some kind of Jewish superpower, which makes sense. They've got a lot of pull around the world. But I was really having a lot of fun with that one in my head. And then I looked a little bit deeper into it. I was like, oh, well, this lady's batshit crazy. So there's that. Anyways, I'll let you continue, sir. I'm sure you had more.
Well, it's not just this, right? It's the Jewish lasers takes the cake. The Jewish lasers is the thing that even like you said, you're probably talking to a Jewish laser. The fuck did you just say? Right?
It's a Jewish laser.
Right. But she also, like you said, the shootings are all fake, or they're false flag operations and some grand conspiracy to get gun control. And, in America, I think everyone pretty much knows that the conspiracy for guns has nothing to do with gun control. It has to do with
Jews.
Campaign finance problems and needing campaign finance reforms, because all these gun companies pump money to these politicians, and then they try to get guns pumped out, and they create fear mongering and buying trends and all this. It's terrible. So anyone that has any sort of intelligence to look at the sales and the problems of guns can assess that on their own and follow the money. It's very easy. But the whole false flag operation, because Democrats want to take your guns, to what end? There's no money in that. This is America. We only do things if it's beneficial and makes us money.
This is true.
It's just how it is. True. Democrat or Republican, it doesn't matter. There is no social things done in America that don't affect someone's pocket. That's just how it is. Either it's trying to take someone's money to weaken their stance, or it's trying to make your money to strengthen your stance. And that's capitalism, and that's America. So all these social justice issues that people talk about, especially with gun control, I mean, just stop it. Just follow the money and see where the money's taking you. I mean, if you
Well,
want a social justice issue that's worthwhile and doesn't really have a whole lot to do with money, that's going to be the systemic racist stuff, which she also says doesn't exist.
well, Bob, to give her some credit here, a couple of things, right? You say follow the money. I told her that she did that. It took her right to a very rich Democratic Jew's house. Okay, that's all I'm saying. and and hold on, not done yet here. So that's strike one on you, Bob. Shame on you for telling her to go find her way, and she did. But other than that, the other thing that she said I thought was very intelligent of her, is about the wildfires. I'm actually redirecting back to the wildfires in our lovely Jewish lasers. She said something to me that's just obvious. Like, hey, it had to be a Jewish laser because wildfires don't just start on their own. Huh?
They don't.
Pow!
Without a Jewish laser, name one.
Head exploded, like literally. I mean, she's just coming with the straight dope facts. And then the other thing is, how did she know that the fires were started by a Jewish laser? This is really easy. She went to California. She looked at some of the debris and residue around the scorched earth, and there's literally a bunch of matzo balls and bagels everywhere. And you know, that's the other thing that was a huge tip off, bro. So I mean, she's got validation all around.
Oh, that smell I'm smelling is a bunch of cows that died. That's not brisket. I think not. I gotcha.
Goddamn Jewish lasers. I'll tell you what, man. I never thought I'd hear that, Bob. Thank you. MTG.
One of the interesting things about this, right, is there's talk of, we need to pull her from the committees. She's not with it enough to be on a committee to make important decisions in the House, right? And so
she's been pulled, right?
She did get pulled. She was voted to pull, and there was a little bit of bipartisan support for that. So actually 10 Republicans agreed that she probably shouldn't be sitting on a committee.
Now, let me ask you this, Bob. How many more Republicans are there in the House?
There are about, I want to say 8 or 9 less Republicans than there are Democrats in the House.
Okay, so there's I'm no Andrew Yang, but that's a decent amount of people that are either blindly going with party lines or are also batshit crazy. So I'm just throwing that out there too.
Well, she said like Jewish lasers started the California fires.
Nah,
that's probably not the dumbest thing she could think. I mean, it's
well, you know what I love too is how it's published everywhere, like with her saying this. And we had talked about this before the show. Not only did who was it, Kevin McCarthy, right? He's like, well, yeah, she told me that she didn't really say that, right? I heard the same thing from our good friend Lindsey Graham on the news. Like, well, and he was dancing around like, what's like, are you like supporting this? Or are you gonna like, do you want her to like give up her committee, or do you think she should have a committee appointment? And he's like, well, that's I want her to tell me to my face. I just want her to tell me exactly what she believes, because she may have said that and everybody disagrees with that if she said that, but I want her to tell me to my face. Basically saying, if she lies to me in the face, which liars and people that want to deny something, they tend to do it to people's faces when they're questioned about it, right? They
really don't have that line of distinction of when they should lie and when not.
It's like, oh shit, well, if I'm going to talk to you like man to man here, to your face, I better mind my P's and Q's and really tell the truth. Now, yeah, that doesn't happen. So, but I thought that was pretty interesting. As long they seem pretty satisfied with her just saying, no, I didn't say that. Oh, okay, we're good. Let's move on.
And is that the plausible deniability that they're looking for? Well, she seems like a nice girl. You know what I mean? It's for real. It's like, well, how would I have known? She said that. She never said that. Even though literally on our notes, we're staring at the Facebook post about the fucking Jewish lasers.
Oh my God.
It is there. It is a thing. All of these takes, we're not just like making up. They come from her Facebook. They've probably since been deleted, but nothing really ever gets deleted once it's posted.
No. Geez.
So yeah, she went and told McCarthy that, no, I didn't say any of this. And then she got up in front of
she lied to everybody.
And just straight up, I never said any of this stuff. I don't believe in any of this stuff. I never said that. And it's like, well, they're probably all staring at like notes that some young Democrat aide was more than happy to hand everyone of all these Facebook posts.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I am a believer because I did see some of the opposition here. It's like, oh, you can't just cancel her. I was like, you're not being canceled. You know, you're not being put on Leper Island or anything like that, but you should be relieved of your duties that oversee the governance of the American public on a whole, right? I mean, you should probably, if you have these kind of views. So silver lining, there's been some good things happen because of this, but I'll tell you what's going to slip under the rug and kind of fade away without being any kind of check. There's no checks and balance here. Jewish lasers. Is anybody going to do some follow up and research on how destructive these things actually are and hold the Jews accountable for what they're doing, Bob? That's what I want to know.
I want to know too, because I've got a tub. I'll put it in the backyard if they want to target my soup. Just heat that on up with the laser.
Just throw your matzo ball soup in the backyard. they tend to heat things up quicker if it's food to their liking. So
no, she's really missing out. I mean,
yeah.
It's pretty apparent she's never had a good falafel.
I agree. And for anybody out there that's not watching the YouTube video, it's a crying shame. One, I think we're pretty funny to watch, and two, our backgrounds are dynamite today.
They really are.
That's all I got to say. If you guys can't see Bob's, I will tell everybody, you know, just so if you're not watching it. No, I'm not. I'm actually going to let everybody just, you know, mosey on over to YouTube and check it out. They're dynamite. They're fantastic. I will say no more, Bob. Let's just clam it up and let's move on to another topic. What do you think?
Sounds good to me.
Good deal. Good deal. So
I think we've blown up this topic enough.
Oh, Bob, I thought you'd never say that, but you did. And my God, you are a thing of beauty, my friend. Yes, no. That's the other big piece of news right here. Bob just alluded with his beautiful transition there that old Muskie baby. You know, I bet like they were saying, so everybody's not left hanging too much. SpaceX rocket exploded, landing on the ground. Second time that this rocket has done that. Apparently not a big deal to the SpaceX executives or the trajectory or the timeline for the first all civilian space rocket that will be hosted by Elon Musk's rockets. But I thought it was pretty interesting, Bob, because you know damn well, we all know this, right? Elon Musk is he's not a cool and collective guy most of the time. He tends to blow his top pretty easily when things are.
He's pretty fiery.
Yeah, he's a pretty intense guy to say. I like what you did there. He's got an explosive personality.
He gets red hot.
Yeah. But you know, he
comes in fast, a little too fast.
Yes, he does. But you have to imagine, dude, like everybody's really calming this down for a variety of reasons. And we talked about it before the show. This is not really a huge deal, and it's not going to back up progress too much. This happened how many times with his other rocket?
I want to say they blew up like 90 Falcon rockets before they started to like having, you know, really good success. I'll look that up though while you keep elaborating.
Yeah. But we both know that he's fiery. Like you said, he tends to have an explosive personality with things. And even though they really made this, hey, this is cool, this happens, we're still actually making progress. We got a lot of good data from this launch that we're going to be using moving forward. In the background, I wonder what Elon was doing. What do you think he was doing after this happened? Do you think he literally started like throwing things at subordinates that he's working with, or like start kicking over stuff and trashing stuff, or what do you think, Bob? I'd like to hear some elaboration on what you potentially think. Use your imagination, Bob. What did Elon do when he heard that the rocket blew? Well, you know, he was watching it. He was probably watching it while he was getting head, sitting on a gold plated toilet or something like that.
Well, I think normally he watches all the rockets like physically, like he's there watching his rockets. I mean, wouldn't you be? It's a fucking rocket.
This is true.
I would be. I'd be there like full erection, just like, oh, look at that rocket.
So we got Elon. He's got binoculars and he's got his pants down around his ankles right now. He's holding his junk with his left hand because I'm just going to assume he's left-handed. He's got the binoculars with the right hand. He's watching this thing go up. He's in mid-stroke. Boom! Explosion. What happened next? What happens next, Bob?
I don't know. I mean, do you get mad at the money? Does someone that rich get mad at that money? I mean, he's worth like unlimited resources, right? So like financial, because if it were me, I'd be like, great, there goes like the next 5 lives worth of my savings.
Fuck.
Right.
Now I can't
But
buy any more GameStop. Son of a
it's
bitch.
monopoly money for him because he got in early on
Yeah.
GameStop.
He's still winning.
so I don't know. I guess it all depends on what the specifics were of the problem, because what it seems like to me is a rocket died. One of the controller rockets died, and it was trying to reignite itself automatically, and it couldn't do it in time because it was coming in too fast. So they need obviously to design a better fail system for that, or redundant rockets to start when one dies, or whatever the engineering is going to be to solve that problem. So if that's the point, then maybe his mind goes right to, we need to fix this exact engineering issue, and redirecting all resources towards fixing that or something. I don't know.
Well, what if he had his hands up in there? Like, what the fuck just happened? Everything was supposed to be perfect this time. I don't understand what's going on. Is he back to the drawing board, perhaps? Did he smack his number 2 in the face? Or with his pants around his ankles and his junk in his hand in mid-stroke, did he literally, because you don't want to stop before you finish, you know what I mean? So did he like turn to his number 2 and ejaculate all over him, and then like kind of look at him like a little funny?
He took. Do you remember when the Tesla Cybertruck came out, and it's like, these windows are unbreakable?
Oh,
It was like a steel bowl against it, and it just smashes the window. He's
yeah,
like, well, I'll try again. And he does it, and it smashes it again. And he's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Right. And he took that pretty well.
He did.
So I would imagine that he takes these things pretty well. I mean, I don't know. He's kind of a strange, like, intelligent guy. Like maybe he's on a spectrum. Like, does he not have those kind of triggering emotions to where he takes things that terrible?
Oh, he does.
Doesn't ever cross the threshold of throwing things or breaking things. Maybe he's just like, well, that sucks. Let's go back and fix that rocket. And I don't know why he's Dr. Evil, but
it makes sense because, Dr. Evil's he's a big friend of the show too. I've heard recently. He might have a cameo in this show. We don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You have to watch it on the YouTubes and see.
Yeah, fuckers. I'd like to think maybe that he does get hysterically out of hand when things go wrong. That's what I like to think for some reason. I don't know. I've seen some of his Twitter tirades. He does get pretty worked up and crazy when he's angry about stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if he's that even keeled guy. But I mean, by the way, the truck incident with the smashing of the windows, you know what that really did? That was a really nice thing, if you ask me, because it created a fabulous dip for Tesla stock for a little bit, just a little bit. But it did create the opportunity to buy some more Tesla. So maybe that was all planned. Again, he's a really smart guy.
GameStop created a Tesla dip. So.
Thank you, GameStop.
Thank you, GameStop, making it affordable for everyone to get in.
Woo, come on. Well, I'll tell you one thing. If anybody was a little bit more pleased about this whole explosion of the SpaceX rocket, it was probably Jeff Bezos, wouldn't you say?
I would imagine that he also had an erection, but his came after it exploded, not before. Right? He's just like,
oh yeah,
Blue Origins don't explode. Yeah.
SpaceX
ain't that right, bitch. Honey? Oh, she left. Fuck. Because divorce is comical.
That's all right. He enjoys hanging out with his rockets too. But no, that's another very interesting piece of news. I guess here's my thing. I wasn't now that I understand everything and who took over, Mr. Jazzy, right? Or is it Lazzy? No, it's Lazzy. I like to call him Jazzy myself, and he's probably got his jazz hands up, just shaking around doing his thing. But that was some pretty big news. This was what? I want to say Thursday. I think it was Thursday when something flashed on my screen when I was working. It's like Jeff Bezos steps down as CEO of Amazon. Now, I do understand that he really didn't go very far. I think he's like the executive chairman of the board of Amazon. So it's like,
he heads up the board of directors now.
Yeah, so. I still pretty much control what goes on here, but I'm gonna distance myself. And let's face it, too, there is some potential litigation and some things, and Amazon could be in a little bit of hot water. Most notably, I don't know if you saw this, but and this is something that is the guy that's going to step up for him is going to have to deal with. I can't remember if there's a term for this or not in the news, but a thing that Amazon has been, I guess, accused of, which is, I guess there's proof already.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we could say allegedly, but they do carry and they ship a lot of small business products that are quite niche, that are almost, unique. And what they've done, and a lot of things, this from like the divisions like Amazon Basics and stuff like that, is
Right.
Amazon will see that they'll literally just duplicate the fucking product and slap an Amazon like Basics or whatever logo on it and start shipping the same product out through Amazon and basically force these companies under because they can't compete with the pricing or the scalability of distribution. So that's
Yeah, it's
something
like
that apparently
Costco's Kirkland.
yeah. And that's something that apparently they could be taking a lot of heat for pretty soon. So kind of timely from him to step out of the limelight and out of the way of the firing squad, so to speak, for some of that stuff going on. But I don't know if that was it. I honestly think he just wanted to go play with his Rockets. I mean, don't you?
Yeah, and just other things in general. I mean, if you remember back like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, Bill Gates did the same thing, right? He stepped away from the day-to-day operations and he let the dude that owned the Seahawks, Paul, I forget his name. Anyway, he died a couple years ago.
Well, and Steve Jobs did the same thing, but he did it more gracefully. He just died.
Right. So Bill Gates did the same thing. He stepped away and he was on the board, but he no longer was. He was handling day-to-day operations, right? And he did the same thing there. His was more because he was invested in his philanthropic escapades and what he wanted to do elsewhere in the world with, design his microchips and fucking shots and all that.
Microchip vaccines, all that stuff.
Marjorie Taylor Greene probably believes that.
Oh,
I haven't heard it, but allegedly. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's just the daily grind. I mean, he started this company out of his garage selling
30 years ago. 30 years ago too. That's a long time ago.
That is a long grind. I mean, and he's had enough money to retire at least for a few months. So
yeah, I would say so. Jesus Christ. Now Bezos is up there too. I don't even know, but he's probably in the top 10 richest, right, in the world. Look it up right now, Bob, because I don't want to bullshit real quick, but no, I agree. I don't think you put yourself in this position for much more time if you don't have to. So good for him to step down right now. What is the guy? The guy's name is it
Jeff Bezos. Right here it says richest man in the world as of 2021, January 2021. Net worth 140 billion.
Wow. Well, I do have to correct myself. The guy's name is Andy. His name is Andy Jazzy. It's Jazzy. It's not Lazzy. It's Jazzy.
So it is Jazzy. And
you know what he's been doing? People are like, well, who the fuck is this guy? Oh, just the guy that heads up Amazon Web Services. No big deal. Just like the leading driving force of their revenue now. You know what I mean? So obviously, I think they're going to be all right over there. And I think the stock is actually going up since this announcement, which is kind of atypical.
Yeah, normally when there's a change like that, the stock takes a hit for a minute until people figure out like the temperature of who's steering the ship.
Well, now that there's Jazzy, everybody's really excited, because he's a good guy. Well, good for him. I don't know about you, buddy, but I'm done with my beer.
All right, here's the latest list. Elon Musk, 197 billion. Jeff Bezos, 182 billion. Bill Gates, 132 billion.
So we got the top three are the three like tech juggernauts right now, essentially. Where's Zuckerberg?
Zuckerberg's slumming it down at number 5 with only 95 billion.
What a schlump. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Let's pump
that's
it
like
up,
barely
Zucky.
more than my net worth. I mean, what's this guy doing?
Yeah, come on. You know what I mean? Such a commoner, such a peon.
And then Warren Buffett, just for you to know, right next to him is 88 billion.
Good.
Which Warren Buffett's interesting because he made all that money off of GameStop.
Yeah, nobody really knows that because it's always been Buffett's like kind of trademark line too is get in quick, get out quick with stocks, right? It's not like hold them for 10 years or anything like that. So that's always been his philosophy, I've heard.
So Warren Buffett basically owns Berkshire Hathaway, right? And they do a lot of everything, really. They're most known for real estate, but they also own a bunch of investments in companies, and they're basically just a huge hedge fund because they just do a bunch of different things to make money. So
you see that, Bob? Jewish laser.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna make our fortune. We're gonna figure out how to utilize these Jewish lasers to make money.
Well, like I was saying, let's go get a cocktail. What do you think? Stefan?
Yeah. Well, this time let's do some shots.
Yeah, why not? Let's go.
All right. Cheers, Scotty.
Oh, cheers all the way. Cheers to your tits.
Cheers for fears.
Oh, it's a great band.
Cheers for beers.
Easy to share. Go ahead and recline that thing all the way back. Pour yourself a nice little bottle of bubbly.
Hey.
Hey man, so I think I fucked up, dude. I mistakenly, when I was making this, I did an ounce of vodka and then I accidentally did an ounce of coffee liqueur, and I realized that when I was going to pour the amaretto, and I was like, fuck. I was like, well, let me just do an ounce of this and then I'll go back and get another ounce of vodka.
Yeah.
So I literally made like the ultimate like double fucking mind eraser,
Well,
or brain eraser.
so
Oh, there you
double.
go. Look at that. So, okay. So you made a double like you should have. And I just kind of had one of those, you only live once kind of deal things. So it's like, yeah. So I won't be sipping. Look, I do have a straw for mine. Oh, are we getting in? All right, let's get in. Let's go.
Let's try it up.
All right, let's do it. It's not bad. Wow, that's dank too. Whew. Sir, I just had to do half of mine. I'll do the other half later.
I love the face you're making. It tells the stiffies that this is a really tasty beverage.
It's just when you're sipping it all through a straw really fast, it's a little different. I'll tell you that right now.
I probably made a less than pleasant face myself.
Well, it's a good one. Now, guys, just so everybody knows here, today we are having, and I think I misspoke earlier, but it is a brain eraser. This is probably the drink that you're having at the bar when you're acting pretty aggro and trying to like impress a chick or something like that, but you're not really impressing her. You're just looking pathetic. That's kind of what I'm getting right here. Or you literally, maybe you just did a line of Coke that was a little too pure. You know what I mean? You need to calm down a little bit, right? You know what I mean? You order a couple of these bad boys, it'll set you straight.
Look,
right
I need
away.
a brain eraser because I can't feel my teeth.
Hey, it sounds like a good time, but no, guys, what it should be is you have a tall glass. Bob, again, using a fabulous looking highball glass. God, those look good, man. I need to actually get me some, by the way. I need to order me some.
I should order you some, and you can order me some shot glasses.
That'd be kind. Yeah, we just keep
switch it up.
Yeah, we like to give each other reach arounds. What can we say? But yeah, what we got here is it should be an ounce of vodka, a half ounce of coffee liqueur. I use Kahlua, and a half ounce of amaretto. I use Di Serrano. And then you literally just do a splash of soda water, club soda, whatever you want, and you're supposed to drink the entire drink in one shot with a straw. So pretty intense. That's why I only drank half of mine, guys. So there you go.
They're pretty good. They're not like my favorite drink or anything, but they're pretty good. I definitely like the idea of slamming it all down. Slam it all down. Give yourself 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then judge if you want to slam another one all down yet or not. But yeah, I can definitely see how it gets its name, because that's a lot of booze that you're just taking, because it's almost all booze.
You know what's interesting too? I was just thinking about it multiple times now. I'm still trying to wrap my brain around why I get the strong booze, right? But literally, you could just combine a bunch of like 40%, like, or 40% alcohols, like standard liquor, together and get a bigger punch. Why the coffee liqueur and the amaretto mixed with the vodka? Are we going for? Was somebody going for like more of a coffee inspired drink here? Because it seems like an odd combo.
You can't question the origin. You can just
really
accept that it exists. That's why we drink scotch, buddy.
That's true. Confucius over here coming with the heavy shit.
we must not fight those things that we cannot control.
But honestly, yeah, guys. And the other thing was too, is literally I had the idea for this drink, so I'll go ahead and fess up to it. It was my idea to have a brain eraser, but honestly, it just sounded fun. It's got a cute name, and it's something that I noticed that both Bob and I have everything in the bar, so we wouldn't have to get any extra stuff.
Which is really like most of the drinks at this point.
I know. I know. I think I need to get when we're looking through the book, there's just a couple of more like liqueurs, like in the mixer aisle and shit like that. I think I need like a mint like liqueur, I think, because I have the peppermint schnapps. There's a few that I need, just a few. Like I think blackberry liqueur is one that I see a lot and stuff like that, and drinks that I don't think we have. But you're right. Essentially, we can flip through that thing and meaning the Bartender Black Book 10th edition. Get one, guys. We could probably make about 50-60% of the drinks in there without moving, without getting off the couch. Besides to make the drink, unless you have the kid do it.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And in fact, since we're getting ready to move, I was actually looking at bar ideas. I was thinking of just buying one, but the more I look at it, the more I think I'm just going to make one. I'm just going to do it myself. I mean, I don't think it's going to be all that complicated. So I think I'm going to make one so that I can have it just how I want it and make it myself, and it'll be amazing.
Make sure if you do to in the design have room for like a kegerator underneath and a couple.
Oh, that's going to go in the back. So I'm going to have cabinets, cabinets and a counter and shelves above that behind the bar. And then I'll have the bar top in front because I want a space to work on. And then higher than that is the actual bar where people sit. But the foot bar and everything at the bottom.
Well, honestly, it's not going to be very long here before we can start getting together. If you want some help building it, let me know, because I sure would like to christen it when it's done, and I don't mind chipping in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it sounds fantastic, right? Let's build this bar, and what are you guys doing? We're drinking at the bar. You're like, it's just a frame. It's never too early.
It's like literally, you guys are having like Red Dog Tall Boys out of the cooler. What are you doing? Like,
we're just sitting there staring at the pile of wood. We're making great progress.
What do you got?
We just run the saw every now and then to make it sound like we're working.
Oh, classic times.
Then Home Depot delivers the actual bar, and then everyone's amazed.
Here,
guys, keep it down, right in here.
Yeah, we're all smacking hammers on the floor and the wall and going off with saws and shit, and they're just delivering something in the back door. Like, here you go, sit it here. Yeah, then take all the credit for it. I like your style. Well, hey, let me know when you're ordering that from Home Depot, and I'll mosey on down. You know what I mean? So I can help you build it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. No one's any the wiser.
I'll tell you what.
That's exciting.
Because of the special Saturday edition, I don't think, from knowing Bob or myself here, it's a surprise that tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday. So we decided to record the day not of the Super Bowl, right? So, but I'm excited, bro. Super Bowl Sunday, buddy.
It's always good when you have Mahomes and Brady. I mean, I'd say it's always good when you have Brady, but like Brady's almost always there.
I know. And I have this weird feeling that he's even going to be there, and kind of like this creepy guy that still hangs out with high schoolers, like Matthew McConaughey's character.
It's the old guy at the party.
Yeah.
Still holding on to like 10 years ago.
He's going to be there like 5-10 years from now. And like, Tom, what are you doing here? But he's going to like find some reason to be there. I don't know what he's going to do tricky, but yeah, he's always going to be there. But it's still going to be an exciting time. I'm really pumped. It's the first time that Tampa Bay, the home team, gets to have home field advantage and host the Super Bowl for themselves, which is nice too. But Bob, I always got some certain things I do on Super Bowl Sunday. What about you? You got any nice little food you always have, rituals, traditions that you lay out there for the fam, or just personally?
Yeah, we pretty much always have jalapeno poppers. Normally we mix it up with a bunch of finger foods. This year we're going to do homemade wings and jalapeno poppers. Probably some veggies and ranch, always good to have for the game, but nothing crazy. Just kind of normal game food. I mean, we've done dogs and burgers, normal stuff, nothing flashy. But again, this year, air fried homemade wings.
I just saw a air fryer in Costco today, and it was only like $30 or $40.
Was it the one on sale for $40?
So.
I saw it too. It was a 6-quart. It was a good one. You should pick it up.
I should pick it up. See, and I wanted to tell you this earlier, but I didn't want to ruin the surprise. But I was at Costco today. I told you recently about my trip to the dentist, where I actually got good reviews from the dental hygienist and the dentist. I think it was the first time I've been to the dentist where they only had positive things to say for, like, I don't know, first time 15 years, what have you. But I went ahead pulled the trigger. You know, occasionally they've got the Philips Sonicare brushes, like 2 for 1, like
Yeah.
for pretty good price over at Costco. I did it. They're right there in the impulse stuff when you walk
Good
in
for
right
you.
away. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I got it. It was normally $159.99 on sale for $119.99. I was like, cool, whatever. And it's got, 2 in there, one for me, one for Jamie, like an extra head on each little thing. It's got the 3 settings for gum care. Like,
Have you
literally,
used it yet?
no, Jamie
Oh,
just
okay.
took it. Jamie literally just took him out of the packages. I got him at the store this
Well,
morning.
I will tell you, a freshly charged Philips Sonicare will shake your eyeballs. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Seriously, like pay attention and like look. You'll see it in the mirror. Your eyes go. I swear.
That's a little unsettling, but I think I might like that.
It gets in there. It really breaks it down.
You're all, Scott, are you tripping on ecstasy? He's like, no, I'm brushing my teeth. This is intense.
Yeah, we're a Sonicare family.
Good. Yeah. So I just, I've heard so many things, and I've actually heard, like, if somebody like myself that really is focused on trying to take care of their gums, because face it, the teeth are like second to everything in the mouth, right? If your gums aren't healthy, then your teeth ain't got nowhere to fucking sit in, like they're not going to be there long term. So I'm really into that. So yeah, I got the one with do you have the one with the three different speeds and the ones for just massaging the gums? That's the one I got.
I don't know if it has 3 speeds, but it has 2. Like it has like there's 2 buttons. I've never paid attention to what they do. I just click the button and brush my teeth.
Nice. Yeah. So pretty excited about that. But I did see the air fryer, and I was like, I've heard so many good things about these air fryers. I need to get one.
You will love it. You'll love it. You'll find yourself shopping for things to explore the air fryer with. Like the mozzarella sticks at Costco. Oh man. Like they're great in the oven, right? They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Have them in the air fryer. Buy some like beer battered onion rings and cook them up in the air fryer. It's fantastic. But then you can do other things like Brussels sprouts. Like you can like get down with it. Like for real. And the corn dogs never tasted so good as it has in the air fryer.
God damn. Well, I think I might have to go get it because that's a really reasonable price, like $40, like $39.91 or $9 or whatever the hell it was. But anyways, you were just saying you're just making the regular shit then. Are you having chicken wings tomorrow?
We are having chicken wings and we're having jalapeno poppers. So basically it's just, bacon and a cream cheese, cheddar cheese combo, garlic filling that we put in the jalapenos. But very healthy. It's going to be a pretty healthy meal. We're trying to be health conscious this Super Bowl and just in general. So
healthy, and then you're going to have how much booze are we having tomorrow? A decent amount.
I'll have a decent amount, but it's going to be scotch. So
good for you. Now, are we going standard issue Kirtland, or are we doing something special tomorrow?
No, I'm still working on my 10, 12, and 16 year gift set.
Oh, so good for you.
I'll probably pick one of those bottles and attack.
Attack.
Probably do the 10 or 12 or something. I've already opened the 12 and the 16, but I haven't done the 10 yet.
I like that. Drunks, they don't just drink; they attack that.
Yeah,
shit.
I opened the 16 when we had an accepted offer on the house.
Ah, man, my cat just like gripped onto my leg, and it really hurt because he was falling, and he decided to dig into my thigh, and
it woke me up. He means animal.
Yes, that's what I mean. Well, yeah, that sounds fun, dude. We over here, nothing crazy either. I wrote down to shop today. I was like, get some meat for the grill, and literally all I did is I got, do you ever? I'm sure they have them at the local grocery store where you're at, but they're like the jalapenos that have the cream cheese that are wrapped in bacon and like the little like in the meat department, like like ready for.
Yeah, they don't have them like made, but what they do have is they have a kit. Right, yeah. They have a pound of bacon, like a pound of jalapenos, and a cream cheese, just like ready to go for you for like $6. Really good deal.
Yeah, it's a great deal. It's better than mine. I think I paid like $7, $8 just for like 6 or 7 of them in a little fucking thing. But I got some of those. Got me some beer brats. Got me some hot dogs. Jamie's we got some little smokies too and some crescent rolls. So she's gonna make pigs in a blanket for Elizabeth. We got one of the shrimp cocktail platters, right, from Costco too, ready to go. And we're gonna do some hot wings on the Traeger grill.
Oh, I forgot. We're gonna use some of that ribeye to slice up and make some cheesesteaks with.
Oh, good for you.
Also, I'm gonna mix that in there.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it's going to be fun tomorrow because I love the ritualistic cooking. And then quite frankly, let's face it, even if you're not a football fan, the commercials are always dynamite. You know what I mean? Those are always fun. This is when the big dogs come out and roll out
Now,
$5-10 million for 30-second spots. That's good shit.
You're gonna watch the pregame on TikTok with Miley. So if you go to NFL's TikTok, they have a pregame show there. I imagine before the actual pregame show, but it's basically tailgating party, a virtual
Bob,
tailgating party.
I didn't even know this was happening. That's how disconnected I am with the kids today.
Wow. I'm very in tune with kids because it's all about the kids.
Bam! Bringing it back. God damn it! Did you hear that? Do you like that? Woo! Sorry, that was fun. I probably just woke up somebody that was sleeping, but that's good stuff, man. So who do you got? I mean, I think we talked about this last week, but have you changed your mind? You still going with the Bucks? You think the Bucks are going to take it?
It's Brady. I mean, it's Brady. It's just Brady.
It's really fucking sad, isn't it, man? But if I'm gonna be forced to pick here, I'm just gonna be the blindly optimistic guy, the guy that's still holding on the GameStop. That kind of guy.
He says that because it's true.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say, this is just my prediction. Chiefs defense is going to step up in a really, really, really big way, and throw Tom Brady off balance and get him flustered. Chiefs are going to win. It's going to be a close game, but the Chiefs are going to win. Let's go this back to back. First time since when? The Broncos? Or no, Patriots did it, right?
I was going to say the Patriots did it, I think, 03-04.
Yeah, 03-04. But before that, it was Broncos, 97-98, right?
Yep.
All right.
That's correct. And then before that,
I don't even want to hear it.
This is the Cowboys. This is the Cowboys.
Did you guys beat the Bills both times?
They did.
Oh, we love Jim Kelly. Well, we got a little bit of a conversation here, and this is a conversation that can I say is near and dear to our hearts for a very unsung reason. Bob, can we say that?
Why unsung?
Well, it could be sung. You want to sing it? You want to be a canary? Get out there and say it. Huh?
Who's the best Batman?
yeah, pretty much. And the reason I say that, guys, is Bob and I'll just tell everybody, I'm, no more movie magic here. I'm going to be very honest because I'm having my second brain eraser. Hold on. Ready? We're going to get back. You want to get back in there? Grab number 2.
Oh, no. I'm sipping on number 2. I'm doing it in unconventional fashion. I know.
See, I got a big rubber straw. You like that?
How conservative of you to care about the planet like that.
I don't really care about the planet either when it comes to this. I could say I do.
It's reusable, right? You wash it.
Let me take that back. You're absolutely right. This is why I did it.
Okay.
We
have bamboo straws for that reason. Oh. So I have this nice plastic bendy straw that I use instead, just to give a middle finger to the planet.
A middle finger.
I give me your finger. So what Scott was alluding to was there was maybe a little mishap in last season.
Well, there's probably a couple, but we don't talk about.
We might have did a whole show without recording it.
Oh, and I'll tell you what.
It was great.
We were really feeling that show, weren't we? And if anybody wants to go back and hear our replacement, it's episode Take 2. Yeah, it's called Take 2, and that's the inside joke there. Just to let it out of the bag. I think 1 or 2 people are going to care about that, but there you go. You're welcome. But we recorded a whole show. I think it was probably the most excited we were about a show post show, because it was such early on in the podcast. I think we were really firing on all cylinders. I think we both felt it. We were really, really just jiving and just feeling it.
Well, up until that point, it was our best show because every show is better than the last. So naturally, every show that we do is the best show of our life.
Yeah, and this one really rang true there too. And there was even there was an element that was kind of sad. But Bob wouldn't, he didn't want to let it go. And Bob literally thought there was a way he could look up on the internet to figure out how to find the recording that wasn't recorded on Zoom. Like, do you remember when you're trying to do that?
Like Zoom caches this shit, right? Like we could just pull it somewhere in the app data. You nerds know what I'm talking about? No, it just doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't happen. And there was an element of defeat in my eyes when I knew Bob was looking for the Holy Grail.
We got burnt harder than California 4 forest with Jewish lasers.
Oh my God. Mazel tov is all I can say.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Heyo.
So
Oh
we talked passionately about the best Batmans and the best Jokers for a good half an hour. Like it was a pretty good segment. We had insightful reasoning behind our order. It was very good. We were very proud of it. And then we were broken up about it. In fact, me and Scott didn't talk for 2 days after that episode.
Yeah. It was, and actually, and to highlight to everybody how much of a big deal this is, usually, and especially in the infancy of the show, we did a lot of just bouncing, feedback off each other about the episode we just recorded. I think anybody that's trying to do something better and better every time does that, right? And that was interesting. After we hung up the phone and we realized defeat that episode was not recorded, and there was no way that Bob could find it. Even if he channeled the lawnmower man in cyberspace, there was still no way we were going to find that episode. We didn't speak for, I want to say a few days. I want to say till midweek that next week when we got on the phone. He was like, hey, so you want to jump on a meeting and talk about next week's show? Yeah, let's just hope you fucking press record this time, asshole.
There was PTSD to this day. We always eyeball the recording, but lesson learned, right?
Oh, hard lesson learned.
Yeah, it's like
Absolutely.
buying GameStop. It's
come on, Christ!
Somebody's on fire over here. So so we thought, actually Scott said, let's revisit. That was a great list. We have a lot of input because we both love Batman. We just both love Batman, and he's one of our favorite, comic book characters, and that says a lot because he's DC.
You are firing. You need more brain erasers in your life, sir. I think you're firing on all cylinders here. This is Bob's V8. Anyways,
I drink them in the morning and then have my first meeting here.
Just kidding, work. Wink.
I would never do that.
Oh, so that's Bob's secret. But yeah, no, let's get right into it here, my friend, because I do think we have we got a lot to say about this, man. But again, so if anybody didn't hear it here, we're going to be discussing really our thoughts in general on the different portrayals of the character of Batman in cinema and TV. Since the inception, right? So I want to say over the last 70 years, 60, 70 years.
Yeah, it's been crazy, right? Since 62 or something like that.
Yeah. So about 60, 63 years, give or take, we've had this character ever evolving and changing and upgrading, downgrading. That's another discussion in itself, right? Is where the Batman franchise has gone in movies. I think it's gotten better on a whole, and then also too, Joker. That is another iconic, very powerful antagonist and villain of the comic book world and of the cinema world now, right? I mean, let's face it. I think people hold Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker as a kind of a showstopper and a big deal right before his death too. So let's get right into it, Bob. I'm going to let you take the floor here because I'm a gentleman. I let ladies go first. So let's start with Batman.
Yeah, and just kind of to pile onto the Joker thing as a villain, like the Joker has so much credibility as a villain because that's what it would look like if someone with the capacity of Marjorie Taylor Greene were a villain.
And honestly too, who really likes clowns? I mean, it's the most evil thing. I mean, look at it, for instance. So you know what I mean? Come on. But Bob, give me do this for me, and then we can get into a little bit more depth here. Give me your top and why. Give me your bottom and why. Batman, go.
Well, my top's gonna have to be, and I've said it before, Michael Keaton for me, and I don't think it's necessarily the delivery or necessarily the acting, even though he's a great actor and he delivered. Mm-hmm. I think it's specifically for me. I was 10 years old when that movie came out, and it was just everything to me. I had it on VHS. I watched it like once a week. I just watched all the time. I can recite that movie to this day, like verbatim, every single line in that movie. And my wife hates it. So we never watch it anymore, but that's just my favorite one. To me, he is the live action Batman. I mean, that's just who he is. I even watched, when he was in the new Spider-Man, right? And he was the bad guy, Michael Keaton. It even made me love that villain because it's like, oh, that's where Keaton belongs, right? And we all know it's not. He belongs in like Multiplicity, and he belongs. He's just that kind of actor. But
Oh, what a great movie! What a great movie, Multiplicity. And you know what? Yes, you never. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm derailing.
no. So he's my favorite.
Okay.
And other than that, Christian Bale is super important in the Batman lineage, right? I think he did great, right? I think overcoming his lisp the way he did for that was great. He played a really good. Christian Bale's probably the best Bruce Wayne for me, right? But
Okay. Yeah, I like
the
that.
best Batman, not so much. But the Batman series from what is it, 2008, 2005? I think it was 2005 to 2012.
Oh, the Christopher, is that Christopher Nolan's?
The whole Dark series, right?
Yeah.
Was so important in Batman lore, and to bring out the Dark Knight and that whole series, and to make that a live action, and not to mention get some accolades by having Gary fucking Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. Come on, that's badass,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But he didn't make my top three, even though he's super important. So he's right there on the bubble. Right there at number 2 for me. I'm gonna have to say is Will Arnett and the Lego Batman voice. I love Lego Batman. My kids love Lego Batman. I play Lego video games with Batman. I love it. It's super important to our household. And then right under there with probably not so much run, Val Kilmer probably doesn't get enough credit for his Batman. So
I like what you did there.
So that's kind of my top 4. I don't recall if it was the same because we didn't fucking record it last time. But I can say it was pretty close to how I had it last time.
Well, and I'll tell you this too. Just flipping the script here over to my thoughts on this. I have a slightly different opinion here. I think number 1's going to hold true. I don't know if it is the nostalgic appeal, in the age or what have you, or maybe the movies, right? Because the first series was done by Tim Burton, the first 2, right? I believe. But I do feel that Keaton's going to be on top for me as well. I will say this. I'm going to give Val Kilmer a little bit more credit than you and put him as a close second. I really thought that he did a fantastic job, not only playing Bruce Wayne, but playing Batman, especially. I think he really did a good job, and it's unfortunate that he was in a movie that he was in, right? The Batman, what was that? The Batman Forever movie?
Batman Forever,
yeah. That's a shame that he was unfortunately in that movie. But I'm gonna go number 1, Keaton, number 2, Val Kilmer, and because of what you just said about, and I agree that Christian Bale probably the best Bruce Wayne character, and I also think the Christopher Nolan movies just gave the Batman franchise that shot in the arm, and they're really, really fantastic movies, man. So I'm gonna give Christian Bale number 3 for me. I'm gonna give Christian Bale number 3. But I will tell you this though, at the bottom for me, I don't think you went into your bottom, but at the bottom for me is George Clooney.
Yeah, I didn't go into the bottom.
I'm gonna go George Clooney. Can you give me a bottom? Give me a bottom, and don't show me your bottom because I've seen it.
I was gonna say I don't count.
Oh, of course you count, baby. Of course you count. You matter.
Anyway,
give me a bottom, Bob. I'm not letting you get away with this. I just now finished my second brain eraser. Feeling good. Had a 9% beer before that. Watch out, kids. And
I'm gonna agree with you on the bottom. I did notice in kind of looking through all of this, we were wrong. Batman's been around since 1943 as a TV show. 1943. Wow. So, man, Louis G. Wilson played Batman on the Batman TV show in 1943, Columbia Pictures in prime time. And then Robert Lowry played Batman and Robin on the TV show in 1949.
Get the fuck out of here. I thought this started with Adam West, which is interesting.
Yeah, I did too, until I started looking at these old black and whites here. So, yeah, how about that?
Well,
Old
honestly,
school Batman.
I will say this: those renditions of Batman didn't they didn't hold up well. They didn't age well because I've never heard of them, and I'm a big fan. So they can go ahead and be on behalf of the Stiff Truth. Those two Batman portrayals can go fuck themselves. So
Yeah,
there's that.
and George Clooney is like, hands down the worst Batman. It's not even close. He's just not. The casting was wrong. It's just wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now,
he doesn't have the physique. He
nah,
doesn't
he's
have
just
the machismo for it.
all it was is he was one of the it actors at the
Right.
time. I think he literally had just gotten out of fucking ER or whatever in that fucking phenomenon of ER.
100% right.
And that's the only reason they literally cast Batman by relevance of time period, and
He was a
little bit
heartthrob.
yeah, it's a little bit of a shame. Don't get me wrong, great looking guy. But I'm gonna go ahead here, if you don't mind. I'm gonna start with Joker because I've realized when I let you start every single time for everything.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't let me start.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you start this time. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do with Joker. Okay, I've we now actually did. Hold on, did the Joaquin Phoenix Joker even come out when we had done the show? Yeah, it did, right? It was already out. Because I don't remember us discussing that. Anyways, I'm going off a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm gonna say this with Joker, and I'm gonna go with tops right now. I honestly think, and I hate to do this, but Jack Nicholson's gonna be number one for me. It's gonna be number one for me. It just is, and again, I mean, maybe it's just his acting in general, opposed to all the other actors that have played Joker, but he's phenomenal, hands down, my number one guy. Number two, I'm going to give to Heath Ledger. I'm going to give it to him. I think he did a dynamite bang up job. He took that character to another level. He gave him a persona and mannerisms that even Jack Nicholson didn't give him. And he didn't borrow them from anybody. He created that himself. And I think he was probably, and again, I think the movies that he was in really played well to him and his character. But I think he's number two. And then number three, Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah, of course.
Gonna throw him in there, buddy. Gonna definitely throw him in there.
Mark Hamill is the Joker. I mean,
yeah,
at least animated wise.
Yeah, he just does a great job with the voice, and he's a fantastic guy there. And then my bottom, Jared Leto. Jared Leto, hands down. Jared Leto.
It's a pretty common consensus, even though they are bringing him back for another Suicide.
I know, but you know what they didn't
Squad.
do? They did not invite him to be in the movie that Joaquin Phoenix rocked in either. And there's a reason for that, because it's actually a movie that you have to use acting and emotion.
That's not fair. Jared Leto's a fine actor. It's just that his Joker isn't fine acting.
Okay.
I'm just going to get onto mine.
Go ahead. Do it.
So the Jared Leto, I agree, he's at the bottom. Some of that is not his fault. It's the type of character that they need in the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad Joker is a little bit different, right? And Jared Leto, by all accounts, is an Academy Award-winning, awesome, amazing actor, and I love him in his acting. But his portrayal of the Joker in Suicide Squad is definitely polar opposite of what Joaquin Phoenix did and the vision was of the Joker. That movie is more about mental health. And societal issues than it really was. And it was about the origin story, about how someone becomes so fucked up and oppressed by society that they 100%. Just gaff anymore about anything. And that was the whole build up to that. Now, Jared Leto, I think, could have done that because he's an amazing actor. But I think because he's already tied to a different Joker, it would not have worked.
Well, and I will agree Jared Leto's a good actor, but honestly, his Joker is the equivalent of like Jim Carrey, like trying to act in how he acts in like Liar Liar or one of the Ace Ventura movies. It's ridiculously over the top, overacting. And that's just the character they wanted, right? It's more of the comic book character.
It's more exactly a comic book character.
You know what I mean? More like the Mark Hamill type Joker character in live action. So before you get too feathers ruffled over there.
No, he's still my last. I mean, and it's funny because as far as like male actors, he's probably, top 15 or 20 for me. I love him as an actor.
Sure. He's great in a lot of movies.
So number one, of course, I got to go roll it back again. I don't know if it's because of how impressionable you are at 10 years old, but I love Jack. Jack is the epitome of live action movie Joker. That's it.
I
Before
loved his
that,
makeup. I loved his makeup, by the way. It was great.
before that though, I grew up on old school, right? I grew up watching the Munsters, the Addams Family on a black and white little TV because we didn't have a
Mhm.
whole lot of money. So a lot of times I'd be like sneaking off with the old TV, right? And I'd watch all my shows. And some of those shows are fucking Batman with Adam West.
Mhm. Mhm.
On naturally pulled a little bit towards the guy, always wondering, are we related somehow? Maybe. You never know. So Adam West was always super important to me, but uh, Cesar Romero for me, he is the Joker. Like that's the Joker. I mean, so he's my number two. Even though I love Jack for movies, Cesar Romero's got to be my number two. He was so impressionable for me, so fucking crazy. Like he played crazy well in a time period that didn't really like give a whole lot for him to work with in the 60s on primetime TV. So I think he did a great job. And after that, Mark Hamill. Mark
Yeah.
Hamill is
Mhm.
the opposite. So for me, it's the top movie actor. I've got to give it. And then Heath Ledger's, he's right there again. Such a good performance, such a good actor. That performance literally might have led to been the catalyst for him to end his life, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Just because of
Things
his
have been
method
said.
acting that he did for that role.
Sure.
Um,
I believe Jack and him talked about that, meaning Jack Nicholson, and warned him about this character prior to his death. So I mean, they both did a fantastic job too, but I think, yeah, it might have been what took him over the top.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so Jack is my favorite, big screen actor. Cesar Romero is my favorite small screen actor, and Mark Hamill's probably the one that I see most. Because of all the animated series, he's
Hmm.
always the Joker, right?
Hmm.
Him and then Zach Galifianakis does the Lego one.
Hmm.
But other than that, though, I mean, Mark Hamill is more impressionable to me as the Joker, perhaps even than as Luke Skywalker. I mean,
It's
it's
true. It's very true. And I was just going to say that too. It's really hard to believe that Luke Skywalker, from you seeing his little like, baby face, fucking face, back in the day, all young or whatever, could literally be one of the best voiceover actors of all time. Because he is. He's
yeah.
fantastic, dude. It's dramatic. Have you heard him do impressions just in general? Otherwise, he's fantastic, dude. I never would see that from a guy that looked like Luke Skywalker back in the day. It's
Now,
interesting.
one of the things I haven't really checked out a whole lot, and because just haven't seen it. Have you seen the series Gotham?
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but not enough to speak intelligently on it.
Okay,
Like, yeah.
so Gotham happens
It's like
as
when it's
Bruce
all,
Wayne is a kid. That's where
yeah,
it starts, right?
they're all younger, right? Like
Right.
there's a
So
penguin character and like everything too. If I remember correctly, there's
right,
like all of them essentially.
yeah.
Yeah,
And season one starts when Bruce Wayne's parents are still alive. Right.
yeah.
So I mean, it's literally Bruce's little kid. Now, the in season five, apparently they introduced the Joker into Gotham.
Hmm.
Right, and it's Cameron Monaghan. So Cameron Monaghan's the redhead kid. I say kid, he's like probably 30 right now. But he's the redhead kid from Shameless, the Showtime series.
Oh yeah, love that show. Hmm.
So he's the the gay one that strips and all that and has the
Sure.
bipolar and all that. That's the
Hmm.
guy that plays the Joker. So
Interesting.
very interesting. And I'm looking at a screenshot of him. Looks amazing. He's got the cut mouth all the way to the side there and scars and very, very cool looking makeup. So I'm gonna have to now check that out so I can see that performance and judge him with my judging eyes.
Good for you. No, definitely. I'm gonna have to get in there more too. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of good things. I've heard a lot of people talk about that show. Very, very up, very, yeah, just very positive feedback
And
so far.
and I will throw it in is Jared Leto's probably my worst Joker. And even still, I don't think that he sucks at Joker. I don't think that it's necessarily the circumstance. I just think that the other Jokers are so good.
Exactly, and that's my biggest thing as well. Is if I saw him with virgin eyes of the Joker, you know what I mean? In that sense, sure, I'll totally buy it for $1. But since I have like so many better performances, it's laughable to me. But yeah, I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah, and like
Just
all time, Academy nominated, and Heath even won one posthumously for playing the Joker. But like, really, Golden Globe nominations, Academy nominations. I'm pretty sure also Joaquin Phoenix won Academy Award for
he
his
sure did.
portrayal of the
He
Joker.
should. He did, and he did a great job. But the reason, and here's the reason I didn't include him in the conversation. That is, like you said, in my mind, it's a little bit different because it's a very focused solo movie about the Joker's beginning. It doesn't involve any interminglings with Batman, and I think you need to see those two together too. You know what I mean? You have to see Batman and the Joker in the same movie to really be able to classify them. So yeah, no, it's a little different, but yeah, he did a great job, but a totally different style of movie. Actually, quite sad movie. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely sad. And I did hear whisperings that they're looking to make a sequel to that.
Yeah, I heard
So
that too, and he's already signed on, I believe. Yeah.
so hopefully that'll, like you said, get a little bit more involved with Batman, and we can almost be assured we got to talk about it.
Oh,
The new Batman, Robert Pattinson, Team Edward.
mhm.
I am so fucking on board with this casting. He is not the scrawny, shiny little shirtless kid from Twilight anymore.
Although Bob loves him too. Don't get Bob wrong.
I love me a little pasty white boy. But
take that one out of context.
Robert Pattinson, he's going to be great. I think he's a solid choice for it. I'm really excited to see his portrayal of Batman. And honestly, the bar's pretty low. I think Ben Affleck kind of shit the bed a little bit.
As he tends to do.
Right, on his portrayal of Batman, because he's just not as good of an actor. I mean, he's a pretty good actor, but when you're talking about Batman and Joker anymore, as weird as it is, you're talking about where we're at now with the quality of acting over the years. You're talking about immersing yourself like Daniel Day-Lewis and looking at an Academy Award opportunity for playing Batman or Joker.
Jesus.
That's where it's been elevated to.
Bob, you just totally hit on something right there. I don't know why Daniel Day-Lewis didn't do Batman. He's got to come back from retirement right now and do a Batman movie after he listens to this show, because he's a huge fan of the show, and he's going to put everybody to shame.
Could you imagine with the method acting that he does? Because it's renowned. Like, he'll portray the guy for like 2 years as he's preparing for this role. Like, you'll see news stories about a Batman like menacing, robbers and stuff, and it'll be Daniel Day-Lewis out there method acting, getting ready for his acting job.
Well, I'll tell you what, for the sake of humanity, he doesn't need to do any roles as a pedophile anytime soon. Then, you know what I mean?
I just need to see what it's like.
No, you really don't. We're going to get in a lot of trouble.
My van's parked right over there. Yeah, right in the school zone. It's.
Well, my goodness. Well, on that note, Bob, I think we're about done, buddy. I don't know about you, but
we're probably past done. But what a great show.
We're doing okay. We're doing okay. Hey, great conversation. Just so everybody knows, according to me and Bob, strangely enough, kids born, in a time period, the 80s, where this maybe makes a little bit more sense. But if I just sum it up real quickly here, best Batman and best Joker are going to be our boys, from that era, not just decade. They're all over the place. But Jack Nicholson, real
quick, what if you were to throw in best director? Would you go with Tim Burton, or would you then flip it over to Christopher Nolan? Because I kind of think you'd go Nolan.
I probably would. And I only say that because of the longevity too. I mean, you have 2 movies from Burton. They're great. I think there's a lot more to Tim Burton's portfolio, like what he's done. That's just, it doesn't have anything to do with Batman. Some of the other stuff that he's with just how I'd rank Tim Burton. That could be another show, just so everybody knows.
I think so too. That's why I was just like, well, maybe we should get a quick take on the directing. But yeah, I would have to say probably Nolan. For what he did for the franchise and the vision of bringing the Dark Knight forward to the big screen, and the way that he did it, and the ambiance and feel of the Dark Knight series. It was dark, right? It was just,
very exhilarating movies too. Like you're always in it. I don't know about you, but every time they're on, I'm like, I'll just start watching it. If it's on TV, I'm like,
he brought us Bane.
Good old Tom Hardy. Well, yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I think we're done. So guys, really fun. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, like and subscribe. We love that. Like and subscribe, guys. Get out there and help us out so we can help you. Help us help you. Also, if I got to say it again, if you're doing podcasts only for some reason and you're not checking out the show on YouTube, which is stupid at this point, but if you're going to be that way, it's okay. You have a right to live just like Marjorie Taylor Greene has a right to live too. Jesus. But, rate us, like us, do what you can on those platforms. But other than that, Bob, I got nothing else to say. So
Patreon's out there. Help the show.
Yeah.
Get in there. If you want any merch, just hit us up and we'll get it there. I will try to start working on, finding a way for you to just get it on the website. But until that point, you can always just hit us up in the comments and we'll reach out to you, or you can reach us at our email address is bobberscott@thestifftruth.com.
Bob's absolutely right. And he's actually going to be enforcing some child labor, making swag and products here for everybody. I think you're going to hire a few Asian kids, right? That you're going to bring into your house, work in the garage or something like that. Anyways, we'll talk about it in the next show. But other than that, guys, hey, have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Have a great weekend. And until next time, love you guys.
See ya.